story, just kind of a little story time explaining how everything went with that process and just kind of where I've been and what's been going on. So I'll just get straight into the video. Okay, so last update was my first trimester video, just kind of explaining what had been going on, symptoms, updates. So I didn't do a second trimester or third trimester, but we are going to fast forward to just kind of explaining labor and delivery. I was at the point in my pregnancy where I was going to doctor's appointments every 2 weeks. So, you know, everything was normal, everything was going good, and there were no complications or anything within my pregnancy, you know, the entire time. So I went in for my 2-week appointment, regular doctor's appointment. They checked my blood pressure and weighed me, of course, same normal process. I'm thinking it's just go in 15 minutes and everything is good to go. Once I got there and they checked my blood pressure, it was extremely high. I do not remember the exact numbers, however, it was like super high, like concerning high. Also, once I got on the scale, I had gained 20 pounds within a 2-week period. So from my last appointment to my 35-week appointment, I was up 20 pounds. Of course, the nurse did all the checking and the updates and everything like that. So then once the doctor came in and she let her know that my doctor told me, you need to go down to labor and delivery. We are about to have to deliver this baby. So I'm just so confused at this point, just sitting there shocked. My husband was at this appointment and we were both just like, you know, what do you mean? What's going on? It was just kind of a lot going on at that moment. She said, you know, this is very serious. It's extremely dangerous and it can be dangerous for the baby if we don't get your blood pressure down. She was telling me everything and basically said that I had preeclampsia. At that point, my feet were extremely swollen as well, which I didn't go in about it just because I know that happens a lot in pregnancy. So, you know, prior to my appointment, I was elevating my feet, trying to stay off my feet a little bit more, but the swelling was just getting crazier and crazier. So I'll just insert a picture here just to kind of show how bad the swelling got in my feet. Everything was swollen, my face, my feet, my hands, but my feet were, like, I had never seen this before. Like I said, she said, go down, labor and delivery. We're about to have to deliver this baby. At that point, I was gonna have my baby shower that next weekend. I think my appointment was like a Wednesday. So I'm like, I have to probably cancel the baby shower. I don't know what we're gonna do at this point. So we went down there, got checked in. Also, we didn't have anything because we didn't have the baby shower yet. We had a few things that we purchased here and there, of course. But we hadn't gotten our stroller and our car seat and things like that. I had planned on doing all this. It was last minute, but I planned on doing it at 37 weeks. Lesson learned there, get everything a little bit earlier. But we went down, we got checked in. They laid me down and, you know, everything just needed to be elevated, and they put me on a machine to check my blood pressure every 15 minutes. So every 15 minutes, you know, the blood pressure cuff is tightening and they're checking my blood pressure. So at this point, she's like, you can't eat anything, can't drink anything. I was starving. It was just kind of like a lot going on. The doctor actually came in a little bit later to check on me, and every time the blood pressure was going down and down and down. Since I was laying down, I was resting, I wasn't moving around at all. So that was a good thing. So blood pressure was going down, the swelling was still there, of course. So she said I need to get admitted into the hospital. Didn't have anything again. My husband went home, picked up clothes and toiletries and everything like that for us to stay a night at the hospital. I'm thinking, oh, okay, you know, we're just kind of playing it by ear at this point. You know, probably tomorrow I'll be able to just go home and just make sure I relax. I'll still be able to work. Nope, X all that out. She came in the next day into the room that I was staying in and said that I need to stay pretty much until further notice. For the next 5 days, I was on bed rest at the hospital. I could not leave. I could not get out of the bed. You know, everyone had to do everything for me. So, you know, not the worst case scenario, but it was just kind of inconvenient because I didn't have anything prepared and I didn't, you know, you don't know to prepare for things like this. And then after day 5 in the hospital, the doctor came in and she said, I'm going to go ahead and let you go home. However, you're going to continue to be on bed rest. You cannot go back to your job. You cannot do anything. When you get home, you need to be very strict. The same way that you're in the bed in the hospital, you have to be in the bed at home. You cannot be getting up, doing laundry, doing dishes, doing little tasks here and there. You cannot do anything. So, of course, you know, I took it very serious. I didn't want to harm or put the baby in any danger, so I took that very serious. So when I went home, of course, my husband had to weigh me hand and foot, so that was a good thing. But yeah, so that happened, and she said that she pretty much wanted to get me to 35 weeks. So, you know, from 35 weeks to 37 weeks, I was on bed rest. And we had a scheduled appointment basically for me to be induced on the day that I hit 37 weeks. Fast forward to 37 weeks, we actually had a sonogram in between. And come to find out, my daughter was breech. So she was saying that we would have to do a C-section if she continued to be breech. Or we had the option to try to turn her. So I really wanted to have a natural birth. I didn't want to get the epidural. That was my plan. I wanted to kind of go through with that. So I said, you know, I looked into it a little bit and I said, we'll go ahead and try to turn her. At that point, we scheduled an appointment for that same day to try to turn her. So that morning at 11 a.m., they were going to try to turn the baby. And then that evening at, I think like 4:30, if they couldn't turn her, we would have a C-section. If they could, we would induce labor, because the point was just to get to 37 weeks. We couldn't risk my blood pressure going up high again and you know, like I said, being dangerous to the baby. Also, between 35 weeks and 37 weeks, I had to go to the doctor about, you know, 3 times, the emergency room, because my blood pressure did spike. While I was at home, I was also checking it every 4 hours. So when it did go up every single time, I did go back into the hospital. They monitored it. It did go back down, but you know, that was just kind of scary a lot of times, just when it just kept going up and I was really not doing much. Just, like I said, laying down, maybe went to go get a cup of water here and there, but really nothing at all, no major activity. My blood pressure, you know, kept going up, going down, going up, going down. So we got to 37 weeks. We went to that scheduled appointment at 11 a.m. and he did a sonogram and noticed that her umbilical cord was around her neck. The sonogram specialist made the decision to not turn the baby, not to put her in any distress. He said, you know, right then and there while it was wrapped around her neck, there were no issues. That's common in babies. However, if we try to turn her, you know, it could become an issue. It could get tighter around her neck and different things like that. So it wasn't the best decision to, you know, move forward with trying to turn the baby. At that point, you know, it was already decided if we could not turn her, we would do the scheduled C-section at 37 weeks. So later that afternoon, you know, I went home, came back at 4:30, and, you know, the C-section happened. That part of it was extremely, I would say, like the procedure, I guess the surgery was easy. No complications again, so I was very grateful for that. We did do a spinal in my back, so I guess it's kind of, I don't really know a lot about it, but it's similar to the epidural. So they did that, kind of numbed everything from chest down. All you feel with the C-section, all I felt was tugging and kind of pulling, you know, nothing else. So I didn't have any complications there. Baby Kinsley was born 6 pounds, 11 ounces on October 17th, 2018. So she is 2.5 months at this point. Everything went really, really well. Like I said, I am also breastfeeding, so I did, you know, get her to latch in the hospital. We did have some struggles there the very first, you know, couple of days, and kind of up to really like 3 weeks. That's a whole another story, but we got it down now. Yeah, I think, you know, overall I had a good experience. Like I said, my plan originally was to deliver, you know, vaginally, and then also not to have any medication. I was going in with the hopes of not getting medication, but I did keep an open mind, and, you know, if the pain just got too crazy, I would, you know, take it if need be. But that was my plan. But, you know, as long as it was safe, you know, baby was delivered healthy, no problems or issues, you know, that was all okay with me. Recovery for C-section was definitely tough. So whenever I got back home, well, you know, you do the recovery in the hospital. They're there with you. You have to pee, you have to poop, TMI, before you get out of the hospital, but you know, that's the way it works. And then you can get released, of course. Just like those first initial days, kind of the soreness and the pain, it was just kind of really taking a toll on me. It was just kind of extremely painful. And then when I got home, the best thing that I did was sleeping, you know, in the living room on the couch, just because it is lower to the ground. Just trying to get in and out of the bed and the room was just a little bit too much on the incision and on the area down there. So I was just sleeping in the living room, you know, on the couch. I had the baby, and, you know, next to me in a separate bassinet. Yeah, so from here I do plan to do updates every so often for baby Kinsley. Also just doing like day in the lives with a new baby. Just want to kind of, I guess, put more of the motherhood side on my channel, so I'm excited to do that. I hope you guys like this video, and like I said, if you have any questions, leave them below. I'll answer any questions, and then also like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be back with more videos. Bye guys.